From Abilene's first television station, your news in your community. This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 5.
Good evening, I'm Dane Murray.
And I'm Randy Turner. Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right into the news because residents at Lake Cisco, well, they're being evacuated as the water continues to rise. Some are even being saved from their homes.
Yeah, today the city issued a mandatory evacuation notice for all residents on North Shore Drive as conditions continue to worsen. KRBC's John McMichael live in Cisco gathering information. John, what can you tell us about the flooding conditions right now?
I'm out here in Cisco where the water situation is not great. Recent rains have caused the lake to rise and rise dramatically. Even from yesterday, houses have been swallowed up and the entire north shore of Lake Cisco has been issued an evacuation notice. City officials say that if it continues to get worse, the rest of the lake will also be issued an evacuation notice. Now, the emergency response crews have been going out and rescuing people from the North Shore and getting them away from the rising waters, but the damage is quite extensive. Waters have been going over the spillway and filling up the valley where Cisco Waterworks is located, rendering it inoperable, according to city officials, for the near future. I'm out here in Lake Cisco, and it seems they're not looking so great right now. Reporting in Cisco, I'm John McMichael, KRBC News. Back to y'all.
Okay, John, thank you very much, and we'll keep you updated on the flood conditions in Cisco and in other places as well. So let's take a look at the weather before we continue into other news. There continues to be rain rotating from the northeast toward the southwest across the eastern big country. And most of that rain is in Brown County, where up to a ½ inch per hour is possible. Here are some of the Doppler estimated rainfall amounts since 11 o'clock this morning. A swath of 1 to 2 inches between Cisco and Goldthwaite, heaviest being along the Brown and Comanche County line. For that reason, there is a flood advisory that's in effect for Brown and San Saba counties until 5:45 this afternoon. Up in Cisco, where John is, that flash flood warning continues until 7 o'clock tonight, where the flood evacuations are underway there at Lake Cisco this evening. And we have some new storms that are just west of Albany. These are moving to the southwest. Just rain, but it may make it into Abilene by about 5:45 to 6 o'clock this evening. Now, the flash flood watch has been extended through Friday morning, but the southern portion of the watch, Coleman and Brown counties, has been extended through Friday afternoon. So here's your temperature forecast now for tonight. Look for temperatures in the upper 60s by midnight and then to the middle 60s by about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Dane?
All right, Randy, thank you. Well, flood water rushing through Will Hare Park, and many people went to check it out. Some even took the opportunity to try and catch some fish. Some used the classic rod and reel, some used nets, others stuck to their bare hands. Of course, they say the fishing was just for fun. The people we spoke to let the fish go, and they say that the rushing water, combined with today's weather conditions, made for the perfect fishing weather.
For luck, or when it's very warm outside, we go fish.
Will Hare Park currently has barricades for the public safety. And while some people are having fun fishing in the streets, other people are warning about the dangers of the flash flooding. Meteorologist Scott Cook live in studio with the latest information. Scott, what can you tell us about a very scary situation for a family earlier this week?
Well, a family had a horrific experience of getting their car stuck in floodwater on North 12th. The family was trying to get back to their home on Kirkland when the car stalled out due to deep waters. There were no signs warning of the depth of the water, and the women in the car had to restart the vehicle in order to get it to go. The experience was especially scary since the drivers and passengers cannot swim.
Just make sure you're getting to wherever you're going safely. If you don't go down a street that looks iffy.
The car getting stuck is one of many throughout the big country. We'll have a full story on how you can stay safe in floodwaters. That's coming up at 10. Reporting live in studio, I'm Scott Cook, KRBC News.
Scott, thank you. Well, first responders were called to a morning rescue. Another one when a family got stuck in floodwaters under an underpass. It happened at the Mockingbird Underpass in central Abilene. The car was carrying one adult, 5 children. Now, firefighters had to put on life vests and get into the water using ropes to get them out. In just 10 minutes during the rescue, the water rose more than 2 feet. But luckily, everyone made it out of the car safely, and that underpass has now been reopened.
Well, we have told you about a North Abilene street that's prone to flooding. This morning there were several cars stuck on Merchant. This is in between North 12th and State Street. The last time we got a downpour, people on Merchant told us the water drains too slowly in that area. The city has put up barricades to keep traffic from driving on the road. And this is another area that the city put up warning signs, warning drivers of the high water today. This is North 13th and Pine. People still driving past the warning signs, though, and through the intersection.
Now that we've experienced a whole lot of rain, that means the grass in our area will be growing and more people will be out mowing their lawns. However, something residents need to keep in mind is the high risk of theft. KRBC's Anavid Reyes has the details.
Thank you, that's right, and unfortunately, lawn equipment like this does end up in pawn shops or sometimes gets broken down, and the parts are then sold to other people who might not know that the equipment was actually stolen. I actually spoke to an Abilene resident who has had this happen to him, and he said he felt violated.
If somebody breaks into your house, well, you're violated. You know, and that's how it makes you feel, and it made me angry because I had stuff stolen, you know, from here.
And after speaking with APD, I did learn that the number of stolen law equipment does spike up in the summer. Reporting in Abilene, Anavid Reyes, KRBC News. Back to you in the studio.
Anavid, thank you. And tonight at 6, we'll have more on what specific lawn equipment criminals target and how you can protect yourself this summer. Well, a former Texas Department of Public Safety employee accused of stealing over 50 pieces of personal information was indicted by a Taylor County grand jury. 29-year-old Brittany Womack is charged with first-degree felony, fraudulent possession of identification, and possession of methamphetamine. She was arrested after the Abilene Police Department executed a search warrant and found a box with over 50 pieces of identifying information in her bedroom. Driver's licenses and ID card applications were found. Methamphetamine also recovered in her bedroom. DPS says Womack was last employed at their office in 2014. She's being held in the Taylor County Jail on a $250,000 bond. And an Abilene man was indicted today as well after a child under the age of 10 made an outcry of sexual assault. 26-year-old Marcus Hensley is charged with continuous sexual assault of a child. Court documents say that a mother contacted sheriff's deputies after her child told her Hensley sexually assaulted the child. The victim came forward with more serious allegations against Hensley during her interview with the deputies and said the assault went on for several weeks.
Now, your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Randy Turner.
Well, the rain is not over. I do expect more to develop during the nighttime hours tonight, especially over the central, the eastern, and the southern big country. And you'll probably be dealing with some rain when you head out the door to go to work tomorrow morning. So let's go to the weather headlines. The flash flood watch has been extended through 7 o'clock Friday morning. And in the case of the southern big country, it will go through Friday afternoon. And of course, the Weather Service will reevaluate the watch again tomorrow to see if it could be extended more. But for now, most of the region through in the morning. Lingering low pressure does mean that rain is likely. And our third and final headline for you this evening says that rain will develop tonight and continue right on into tomorrow. So here's that low pressure area that I'm talking about, and it looks like tonight it's probably going to be pretty stationary. Eventually, it moves south, oddly enough, not east, but south. As long as it's sitting there circulating, it's going to at times bring some bands of showers and thunderstorms into the big country, and most of it is in the eastern big country. The heavier rain now sliding south of the city of Brownwood, and then the showers continue on into Comanche County. Here's a bit closer look at it for you there. West of Brownwood, Bangs, down to Brooks-Smith, over towards Goldthwaite. And then we have this little area of thunderstorm activity west of Albany, and it's moving southwest, may get here to Abilene by, say, 6 o'clock or so. We'll keep an eye on that. Not much happening out across the western counties at this time. It's been pretty quiet. We do have a flood advisory through 5:45 for Brown County as well as San Saba County. The flash flood warning through 7 o'clock in Eastland County, primarily because of the flooding and evacuations at Lake Cisco. We still have the Leon River causing a flood warning at De Leon in Comanche County. That warning goes until Saturday morning at 9:10. Southern Comanche County flood warning until 5:45 this evening. And the Big Sandy in Stevens County flood warning for Breckenridge until 1:20 on Saturday morning. Wide view once again. And as you can see, most of the rain concentrated in parts of Coleman, Brown, Comanche, and Mills counties, with some isolated storms popping up elsewhere. Over at Cisco, County Road 561 is closed due to high water. Other roads closed around Lake Cisco at this time. Quick look at the temperatures where the rain has been. The temperatures are in the mid-60s this evening. Outside of the rain area, the low to middle 70s at this time. We're not worried about tornadoes, winds, or hail, but we are worried about flash flooding. That's our primary threat right on through the day on Friday. RPM forecast model showing that from time to time, and this is 2 o'clock tonight, overnight, more rain building and moving through the big country from the northeast toward the southwest. And tomorrow afternoon, some thunderstorms popping up. It doesn't look too impressive, but if you're under one of these small thunderstorms, a quick inch of rain could come your way. And then maybe by Friday night, Saturday morning, we clear out just a bit. A few pop-up showers still possible on Saturday, but it's mainly tonight and tomorrow morning when we'll get the majority of the rain. And that rain amount will tend to be heaviest east and southeast of Abilene. This is projected amounts, additional amounts between now and 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Less rain to the west and north, more rain to the east and south. So with all that in mind, here's a look now at your weather forecast for the entire big country. We're looking for 64 for the low temperature tonight. The flash flood watch still in effect. We do have a 60% chance of thunderstorms redeveloping during the overnight hours tonight. We'll keep it at 60% for tomorrow. Rain could be heavy at times, and flash flooding certainly a major concern. 74, your high temperature for Friday. But I have some good news. And I don't know how often we say this in West Texas, the rain's about to stop and we're happy about it. Well, at least most of the area is happy about it. There you see a 30% chance for some storms as we get into Saturday. I left the rain out of the forecast on Sunday, and the end in sight starts on Sunday as mostly sunny skies should prevail, returning to the region, warm and dry conditions for a change. Sunday through next Thursday, much needed break from the heavy rain and the flash flooding.
Absolutely. Randy, it's about time we see some sunny skies in the forecast.
Well, you know, everybody is just so tired of fishing in the streets.
Yeah, you know, it's just...
But seriously, it's a very dangerous situation.
It is. It really is.
And they're rescuing people still in Lake Cisco this afternoon.
Right, yeah, and we'll get another report at 6 o'clock, too, about that, so stick around. Coming up next year on First at 5, several institutions collaborated to develop a possible treatment for patients with the most aggressive form of brain cancer. Those details in your health news. And flash flooding isn't only taking over the big country. We'll take a look at how the rest of the Lone Star State is faring. That's coming up in your Texas Report.
You're watching KRBC, Abilene's local news, with Dane Moray and Chief Meteorologist Randy Turner.